What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Keep Growing, the spot where resilience meets style. We're here to help young men like you walk through life with confidence, intention, and a plan for success. From life tips to fresh kicks, we've got the tools and inspiration to help you not just survive, but thrive. From where you are to where you're going, let's keep growing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Keep Growing show. I got my man, Julian Robertson, next to me. What's going on, brother? How are you feeling today? Just do a little recap.
Good. I feel good, man. You know what I mean? Extended weekend. So, yeah, everything is lovely.
Nice 3-day weekend. Yeah, that's amazing to look forward to.
Yeah.
And you looking beefy, bro? You staying in the gym?
I love, man. Yeah, love. I have a baggy shirt on today. But, yeah, man, you know the vibes, man. We're always in the gym, constantly evolving, working on ourselves, progressing. So, you know, that's constant, man.
Yeah.
That's constant, for sure.
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about the... working out last week on our hot seat segment. We'll give a shout out to Deshaun who's taking pictures for us right now.
Love.
I'm always working, bro. That's the thing about the homies. They're always working in some shape or form. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very blessed to have people in my life that are consistently hitting the grind. But today I really wanted to dive in. It was off the rip too. Like I think this whole day has just been a series of just pulling things together that, I'm feeling that we're experiencing in life. And I know we had, a really, I would say, deep conversation on the hot seat segment earlier about vulnerability and whatnot. Yeah. So just making sure that we're all, on the same page with things as a friendship, as a friend group, and just things that we're doing. But I wanted to sit and talk about today in this episode about our athletic background. We've touched on it a few times, on the BHD podcast, but you made a few comments today that really stuck with me. And I want to dive in a little bit more into it into your athletic realm, bro. And wondering if that was cool with you.
Yeah, absolutely, man, about it. For sure.
Sweet. So I know you were, mentioning, in one of the questions that we were talking about, your athletic standpoint and how, you were thinking that it was going to be a certain way. And when that thing didn't work out, you went through a sense of reality in that scope. So what did that look like, bro? What was that winter season for you? In this case, not winter season. What was that season looking like for you once you really figured out that basketball was it for you?
Yeah, well, I remember specifically the day after. Yeah. I had a conversation with the coaches. This was in college, and I was like, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm just gonna finish my collegiate career. I remember the next day, and I remember literally I finished my classes, and I was like, right now, I'd be getting ready to go to practice.
Oh, yep.
And honestly, I felt a sense of relief. Truthfully, I felt a sense of relief because the reality was there got to a certain point to where I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. And I remember there was a practice to where I was like, I remember getting on the court and I was like, man, I don't even want to be here. Okay. Internally.
Yeah, for sure.
Internally, I was like, I don't want to be, I don't even want to practice. And I mean, it's normal to not want to practice sometimes, but it was more so I don't want to do this.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't even want to do this. And that's when it was like, all right, I have to stop. I have to stop because one or two things will happen. One, you're a detriment to the team if you're not fully engaged in all aspects, and that's out. Secondarily, that's one of the quickest ways to get injured.
Oh, for sure.
Is to just be out there and going through the motions and not really fully engaged. And I was like, yeah, I can't. This can't be a repetitive thing. This can't be. And if any athlete was a serious athlete, these things to be true. So the moment that feeling arises, you have to make a choice.
Yeah,
you have to. And that's when I knew I was like, it's here. I'm like, it's here because I knew from that standpoint, I couldn't, you can't just keep operating in that space because from a psychological standpoint, you're going to mess yourself up and then you're just a detriment on too many levels. So I remember the day after I had the conversation and honestly, I was kind of relieved. And then as days went on, I was like, man, it's over with.
Yeah.
But there was a sense of relief within it too, because it wasn't like I got pushed out. I just got burnt out. I got burnt out of just playing. And I just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So when I stopped, there was a little bit of relief, but then there was also a reality to where it's like, I've been playing this game since I was a kid, 6 years old, earlier than that. So it was just like, wow, there was a realization, but there was also a combination of just being like, All right. What else? What's next?
There you go. What's
What's
next?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy that you say that, bro. So you had like the realization in yourself to be able to just be like, I'm done with this game. Like I think that's very unselfish of you, because you would have some guys that would just like the what would you call it? The camaraderie of just playing a sport or saying I am a basketball player.
Yeah.
And then showing up half-assed in it at practice and whatnot, which reality of it takes away from the guys that are in it for like the long haul, that have that, like, what do you call it? That kindergarten mentality of showing up to the pavement and playing ball. And you're hurting that for them. You know, you're doing a disservice, like you talked about.
Absolutely.
So for you to walk away like that takes a lot of guts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and I appreciate that. Thank you. Sure. I also think, that's a very valid point, because in anything, especially when you're playing like a high level of a sport, when there are people that are good at this sport, but they're also competing, and you're not, it'll be seen. It'll be seen. So after a while, you can't fake that for too long. You can't fake that, especially when you're playing high level, especially like collegiately, and then probably professionally too. I mean, there's only so much of just like going through the motions that you can go through until somebody is going to be able, or a coach or a player is going to be like, hey, you're not going hard for real. Yeah. Or you're not playing like how I know you can play. So either you remove yourself from that, or you'll be like pushed out, because and it's rather that you have that assessment and do it yourself, because the latter is people seeing it and being like, hey, you might as well just leave for real. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if you're an athlete, you don't want that. You don't want to be pushed out. You rather do it on your own terms. So I just knew like I wasn't going to keep putting myself through the mental anguish of being like, I don't want to be here. The next day, I don't want to be here. It's like, nah, I'd rather just cut this and just keep moving on. Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So then what was you said there was a realization into that. What was the, I guess the areas that you may have been, second guessing it? Were there ever areas that you were just like, man, did I make the right decision? Was this too early for me? Should I have still just finished out the season? Or like, what did that look like? Yeah. Honestly, I think that's a good question, man. I think, I don't want to say second guessing it, but having those thoughts, it came way after college for me. It came after college. Now you're in the real world, so to speak. Sure. You're working jobs, and then you reflect back like, man, I should have just kept hooping. Or I should have just kept playing baseball. You know what I mean? Because now you're in the real world. You're working. You might be doing things that you don't necessarily want to from a job standpoint. And then you reflect back on, where that sport could have possibly taken you. Yeah. And then you're like, should I just have just continue to just persevere and but at the same time, it's like, no, because you knew how you were feeling in that moment. Right. So I've had those, those self-conversations. But even within those, I knew like, and even to this standpoint, it's like, nah, I know I made the right decision. And for me personally, everything just transferred over into working out. There you go. So I think there has to be some type of like you have to transform that desire or that ability to something else. Definitely. You have to, because if you're a competitor, it's just going to transition into something. That's the word. I mean, transition. You just have to transition it to something else. And everything that I had for basketball literally transitioned to working out. I mean, and being an athlete, you work out, within playing the sport as well. I know the workout regimen might be a little bit different for baseball than basketball than football, but you're still working out. Right. So the love for working out just more so took over in the space where basketball was held. And so that's where it just transitioned into that. So it's been all good on my end, but I do know I have friends and people that I know that have played to where it's like you didn't transition to anything. So now you're kind of really in a space of being stuck, because where that sport held, where that position that sport held, now you don't have anything to hold it. Yeah, no, I feel that. Sorry, bro, you could just hold my jug. Thank you. My throat just got really dry. Thanks, bro. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. No, you all good. So in that moment, did you ever have like the guys that would just tell you like, bro, if you'd have stayed, like you could have really been, had this moment, you could have really had this moment. Did you ever have guys kind of hyping you up from that sense, making you think in that sense, in that way, or no? No, not really. If anything, it was while I was in college, people. Okay. Because you go from somebody being on a team to now they're not on the team.
Yeah,
So
for
people
sure.
being like, "Hey, Ju, like why aren't you at the game?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And so from that standpoint, it happened right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what I was really. I don't know if I was being honest about it in the sense of being saying like really like I just got burnt out. I
Dang,
got tired
bro.
of playing, but I was just like, I just didn't want to. I don't want to play in the team.
And this is like
anymore.
middle of the season.
Yeah,
Wow,
this
okay.
this is within the season.
Wow.
This is
Okay.
within the season. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I can't say I've ever heard a situation like that before.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of situations where they figured it out, or in this case, like I kind of got that sense, but I waited till the end of the season. You know what I mean?
sure,
What I
for
mean,
sure.
but like, I mean to kind of call it quits middle of the season. That's crazy. Did you ever see it from like a negative standpoint of like, oh, you quit on your team, or was it just more of a like I'm doing more of a service to the team of pulling myself out of that situation, like you just got done talking about?
No, there's a little bit more nuance to it.
Okay.
So I walked on. Right? And this is actually probably like early in the season. It wasn't in the middle of the season,
Okay.
but I had walked on the team, and I want to say disclaimer: I'm forever grateful to
Yeah,
be able
for sure.
to walk on because I transferred and I walked on when people were saying that they don't accept walk-ons. So that just shows
awesome.
that shows a level of just dedication, perseverance, and
sure.
just there's a lot of more things to that. But I remember specifically. It was kind of around the season was about to start, and I basically received news that I wasn't going to be like traveling with the team, and so with the mindset of already being like, I'm kind of over this, and then hearing that news, I was like, nah, if I'm on the team, I'm on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be played like, oh, you can suit up home games, but you're not going to travel for away games. I'm like that's never. This isn't football to where it's like there's a scout team
For sure.
that just stay that you know what I mean, and then there's a travel team. This is basketball. There's usually a 15-man roster. It might be a little bit shorter depending on the team, but I was like, no, respectfully, like I still hold myself to a certain regard, and I was just like, nah, that doesn't sit well with me. So if that's the vibe, and on top of me just feeling like I'm kind of over this. I was like, that kind of was like the
Dang, dude. Okay.
the straw
there's
to
more
be
context.
like, yeah, that was the straw to be like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna stand on self principles, and if I'm not gonna be, operated within like I'm holistically a teammate or on this team, then I'll just do my thing.
Okay.
I
yeah,
might have bypassed it if I was able to
for sure.
you know,
It would've
just
been a different.
yeah. I might have bypassed that, but that itself was just like, nah, I'm gonna stand on this.
There's a lot of politics that people are in this case, being a high school athlete that we don't understand. That I don't think I ever was given the proper education. Rightfully so,
Right,
because
right, yeah,
regardless, like my dad played at the same school I did for a while, and it was way different back then for him.
sure.
So like for him to share as
Yeah,
much as he could, it was that's neither here nor there. But I felt the same way, dude, because I went through my process as a walk-on, and although I didn't make the team, I redshirted. Since I wasn't on scholarship, I couldn't suit out for games.
For sure.
I
Yeah.
couldn't even practice with the team. But the guys that redshirted and were on scholarship got to suit out for home games and practice with teams.
yeah.
So I'm like, so basically what you're saying is I'm not even on the team.
It's a different level of
But then they
treatment.
would try to like position it as like, no, you're on the team, but like we want to develop you first. But it's like,
Yeah.
why can't I be in the gym with y'all then?
Yeah,
Like that doesn't sound like I'm part of the team. That just
sure.
sounds like I'm a dude that's just acting like I'm on the team.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think at a young age, realizing that now, finally someone being able to like see the light in that,
Yeah.
it's not cool.
Oh, for sure.
When you go through the off-season training, when you go through, days and nights of bonding with the dudes, we did this like the whole thing of like mental toughness training that we went through, and it's like you're in it for all that. And rightfully so, people get redshirted. Like it's just part of it.
For sure.
But to not be able to be around the team at all during the season, or in this case, you're on the damn team and not suit up and go travel with the team when there's 15 guys on the roster. That sounds kind of crazy to me, bro. And I think that's part of the political side of things in college sports that I will always have friction with and like always have beef with, because you have guys out here that are willing to do the hardest thing, which is walk on, make the team, and you're still doing a disservice by not even making them part of the team.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like, I would argue that's not being part of the team.
No, for sure. But I still look at it like, man, I'm forever grateful for
for
everything.
sure. Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? And it's like, for me, I look at it like being on a team was a blessing. You know what I mean? It was a blessing. But my testament within it is walking onto, for one, a Division I team, which was a super blessing, and walking on a team to whereas when I transferred to Eastern, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know anybody on the team. The coaches didn't know me. So to have the mental fortitude, to have the will to be like, forget what people are saying, I'm gonna get on this team.
Yeah, for sure.
To me, that's the testimony within it is, regardless to what happened on being on the team was for myself and anybody when I share the story that like, it's not about what people are telling you.
Yeah.
It's not about people saying, oh, this team doesn't accept walk-ons if we're talking about a sports faction.
For sure.
Or they don't accept this in a job, or they don't accept this in whatever facet or realm you're trying to access to. If you have in your mind that you're going to be able to do it, that you can do it, it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to happen. So that's why I'm grateful for the situation, because although things didn't pan out, and also I stood on principle as far as what, from a self standpoint, I look at it from the vantage point of nobody can stop me. Nobody can stop you. When you have that mindset, people were saying, when I transferred, I was like, no, I'm going to walk on the team. People were like, no, Eastern doesn't accept walk-ons. That's what you think.
Yeah.
Because you were told that and you believed it. That doesn't, I don't receive that.
Right.
I'm getting on this team.
For sure.
And I did that. So that's more so the testament in my mindset, more so than everything that worked out. And I'm thankful for the coaches for even allowing me to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For even allowing that. Because when I walked to the coach's office, had a conversation with them, and they were like, they basically said like, you can play with the team in the summertime, and they watch. And I was like, that's all I need is an opportunity. That's all I need. Is, you all watch? Cool. Got cool with the players organically. They would let me know when they had open runs. And by the end of the summer, the coaches had a conversation and they were like, we're going to allow you to walk on the team. So that's the testimony within it.
Yeah,
that's the blessing within it. You know what I mean? Everything else, it happened the way it happened. But it's like, nah, it's a testament of determination and willpower and being like, nah, it's an internal thing to where it's like, if you believe that you have something and you can do it, who can tell you that you can't do it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I look at the whole situation.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, it's a blessing to be able to have, like you said, the testimony to acknowledge the fact that you did that and you persevered through the instances that people were trying to say you weren't going to walk on or whatnot. I mean, but that doesn't take away that you don't have to agree with what
for sure.
What
for
the
sure.
college
Absolutely.
sports atmosphere looks like.
Absolutely.
I think the one thing that I've learned is it's not necessarily the coach's fault for those types of situations. It's just the way college sports is as a whole.
Yeah.
There's just certain things that, there's rules, there's things that they got to abide by that unfortunately you have guys like you.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but that will go to the extra mile and do the walk on and do the things. And it still gets handled, which here's the thing. It still gets handled in a way that's not fair, right?
Sure,
and we talk about fair all the time, like nothing in life's fair.
It's not fair,
but that puts you in a position early on to understand, like, if I want it, I got to go get it.
Absolutely.
And if it's not in basketball, like maybe that was a small portion of why you decided to walk away. Bro, you apply that to life and you apply that to a job. You apply that to a family. You apply that. You find different avenues to go to find solutions for things where, let's be honest, in college, there's not a lot of solutions you can go around certain things. You can't, if you don't like a class, you can't just go off to another class. Like you got to finish that class. Whereas like a job, if you don't like a job, you could get a side hustle.
For sure.
You could turn that side hustle into a business.
For sure.
We've seen it happen time and time again. So it's like, I do think, and I do stand on the fact of the failures in life. In this case, both of us went through, college and played sports and, had some failures that turned into testimonies that genuinely helped us out in the long run.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I find it a blessing for sure. And to hear a little bit more about your story, and like, I think that's really cool, bro. I do think.
Thank you.
You inspire a lot of kids to go that route because you can't, there's just so much talent nowadays, dude, that
absolutely
everything happens in so many different ways. And I think there's no reason to cut out a specific athlete for applying it or doing it a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So then you talked a little bit about how you stopped watching basketball for a while and you definitely weren't like living in that sense of it anymore. Was it more of a terms of like you were trying to identify who else you were outside of basketball, Julian? Or was it more of a, I just kind of am tired of it all.
Yeah. At that point, it wasn't really like it was so fresh.
Yeah.
It wasn't more so a thing of like, who am I outside of basketball? It was just a realization of like, basketball isn't like, you do that for you do it it's every day. It's every day, or you know what I mean? Since you're a kid. Mm-hmm. So when you stop watching basketball, at that point was a direct realization of what's not gonna be anymore. So whether I watch college or the NBA or whatever it would be, it was a constant reminder of you're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. Like, I wasn't even, the time that I did watch it, it wasn't me even watching the game. It was me seeing it and instantly thinking like, I'm not playing anymore. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Like, so it was just that I'm not even watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it, but I'm thinking about how I'm not playing anymore, how it's over with, how like, I still love the game, but it's just the reality. It's the reality check of this is it. So after a while, it was just like, I'm not watching this anymore. So, and now I don't even really watch sports or basketball specifically, not for that same reason, just because I've evolved so much that now there's so many other things that hold my interest.
Yeah.
To whereas I don't really, the interest of sports or basketball specifically doesn't hold or garnish my interest the same as how it used to. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I'm not watching it for the same reason. I'm not watching it now because there's so many other things that my mind has evolved to where it's like, I don't even think about that.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's so many different levels of change in life to whereas in the beginning I wasn't watching it because it was a direct realization. Now I don't watch it really because it's like, there's so many other things that like my mind is set on to where it's like, I just don't even think to watch it like that anymore. I've just grown in so many different facets. I don't even think about it.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of a wild realization when you think about it. Yeah. I was the same way in the sense of like I completely cut out watching baseball, for instance.
For sure.
From a standpoint, like I told you early on, it was more of like I just couldn't stand baseball for a long time, so I just took myself out of it. But I think what helped me with that was, I would say like a few years after that, I started indulging in other things because you're an athlete. Your whole life or majority of your life takes up a sport.
Absolutely.
All you can really speak on is a sport. All you can really pull from is a sport. Mm-hmm. And then when you take yourself out of it, it's like you don't have anything to pull from other than like what it is you're doing in the moment. So I found myself finding different hobbies. I found myself hanging out with different crowds, with different people that pulled me in different avenues that I have really amazing experiences in now that I don't think I would be able to talk about if I was playing a sport, my junior, my senior year of college. But sitting here now, I would agree with you in the sense of like, dude, there's so many things that have my interest outside of just, these four walls that I would rather be doing than watching baseball, on television.
Absolutely, yeah.
To a game?
For sure, absolutely, for sure.
I'll frequent a game, when the Dodgers are in town. Sure. Absolutely. We're about to go, hit up a Dodger game in August, but like, to watch on TV, there's too many other things that I enjoy doing, bro. And I know my dad was probably like, "Oh man, like why do you feel that way?" It's just
that's growth.
It is. It's growth, and the avenue that I'm in. I mean, he's a coach. He's been coaching his whole life. Like that's his purpose. Right. My purpose is totally different now.
But you rediscover it and figure out another purpose. And that's what happens. And that's the beauty and the blessing within that.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that you rediscover and you figure it out. Some people get stuck in that, that mind frame, or some people that's actually their purpose outside of playing is coaching or teaching or being a mentor, even within the sport. It still lines up. And that's still a beautiful thing too, because you're still able to stay within your purpose after playing. But for the majority, or for a lot of people, you figure out so many more things about yourself after you stop playing. It just changes with growth. And the beauty of that is being able to actually go on that path of the change and continue on and not be stuck in that when I was playing or like, bro, I don't talk about basketball unless, we have conversations, unless you ask me a question or unless, one of my boys asks a question, but it's like, I don't ever bring it up. That's the past.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't live in the past. Like I don't even think about it for real. I genuinely don't think about it because it's like, it's about now. It's about what I'm doing now and moving forward. Who I was when I was playing basketball, that was cool. That was an element of my life. I was a good basketball player. I'm thankful for that. I don't think about that now or say like, man, if we played on the court right now, I would do this. Or like, I don't hoop anymore. Like,
No, for
I don't
sure.
hoop anymore. I don't have the desire to go on a court and approve myself. Like, I genuinely, that's not, I've grown past that. So I look at that and I'm thankful for that too, because I see certain situations and I'm like, you're still trying to prove yourself. It's
But
like,
that's the whole point of it too. And like to add a third one to that outlet, like you said, there's purpose driven and there's being stuck in it. I'd argue there's another one that's just, I would say, the most toxic out of all of them, which I've seen more and time again from, is the guys that don't make it in college or in, out of high school and don't go to college and play ball. They try to stay around it because that's what's comfortable to them. That's what they've always been good at. And they try to become the coach, the mentor, the person that trains. And they're just not good at it.
Yeah.
And they're working from a mindset of like, well, I was him in high school or college, so I can easily be a coach or do mentorship and teach these kids how to play. And then they do it completely wrong.
For sure.
And that's where I was so scared of being that person, because I could have easily gone, after I was done with college ball, I could have easily gone and coached with my dad. And he asked me, he would ask me, I think at least a handful of times, like, just come coach with me.
Yeah.
Like, come take my freshman team, come take my JV team. Like, just come coach with me, be around the sport. I'm like, no, Dad.
Yeah.
And he never understood why. I don't think I ever gave him a reason at the time. But other than like being so like sour with the sport at that young of an age, because I was probably 20 years old.
Oh, that's still super early.
21.
Man. Super early.
And he had the trust in me that I was going to be a good coach. And I believe it. He raised me the right way. But I had to tell him when I got to like 25, I was like, if I would have coached for you, it would have been in a very ugly way.
Selfish way.
A very selfish way. And I would have
Yeah.
taught and mentored a bunch of teenagers how to go about the game the wrong way. Because what didn't work out for me is the only thing that I could live with in the moment to justify why I was coaching that way.
For sure.
And that's just, that's toxic. And I think
That
there's a
is.
lot of coaches out here, regardless of the sport, bro, that stay around
facts.
it because that's what's comfortable to them,
sure.
then leaving it. And I remember my first job, dude, I was like 20, 21 years old. I didn't know how to do anything. And being not good at something as an athlete,
Yeah, you feel it.
bro, that
You
ego,
feel that. You feel
that
it.
ego just, it doesn't stroke the same way it used to. And it's like, you got to learn how to be good at stuff. And I think that was the overall like silver lining, was I had to learn again at what I was good at.
For sure.
Or what I could be good at. And I think that's where, got me into this realm, and, things happen like that. But you were going to say something. What were you going to say?
Now I was going to say there's you spoke on it, but there's probably a lot of coaches or just people in the realm of just athletics that are teaching from that perspective, from a bitter perspective or a perspective of, it didn't work out for me, but I'm staying around the game. And now I'm teaching from a place of who I was or who I thought I was. And then that just gets disseminated upon, the athletes that they're coaching. And it's like, when you're young, you might see certain things from a coach and it's like, well, where is this coming from? Not even knowing that he's coaching from a whole different plane or whole different mindset. He's not coaching from a mindset of really trying to pour into you. He's coaching from a mindset of who he used to be, or who he thought he was, or who he was. And it's like, it takes maturity to see it. When you're young, you're not able to decipher that type of stuff.
Definitely.
But you can only, gain understanding on that through maturity. And I think that's wise of you, even at that age, to be self-analytical and be like, nah, I'm not even going to get into this because I know from a self standpoint, I'm not in the right mind frame to do that. That's super mature to do that, man. Because a lot of people would be like, man, that's all I know. Fine.
It's all they know.
Yeah.
And it's sad, bro. It is sad to think about. And like you said, the growth part is huge. You gotta learn how to be not good at something
For sure.
to be able to grow in it, or to grow at all. And I think doing it younger than older is a much easier thing to live with at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Until this day, like I tell my dad, I'll joke with him sometimes. I'm just like, hey, I'm ready to coach. And I'll throw that at him. He's like, I can see you being a coach. And I think about it like, I don't think I would ever coach.
For sure.
I would mentor, I think, at a certain point in my life when I got to that. I would step back into it. But I think my biggest scare with coaching is pulling from the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you're away from it, it's easy just for you to like move in life and be able to do things with your new self. And I feel like certain things you got to leave in the past. And that's where I'm at right now. If I had to answer that question, like, would you ever coach? I would say no.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy where I'm at right now too much. And I actually enjoy going around the game now. Like,
For sure.
I very much told my dad the other day, I was like, I want to go down for your tournament because I enjoy being around the game again. Like, it's cool watching these kids and how talented athletes are nowadays, bro.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these kids are fun to watch. And just to be out there enjoying, you know, the game that you once loved in a different lens.
I was just gonna say that.
A different lens. Yeah, bro. In the lens.
Yeah.
To where it's not much transactional. Like, I'm not getting anything out of it or using any of my talent towards it to get something. It's just more of an appreciation.
And you're not thinking about competing.
No, for sure.
That's really where it stems from a lot of places. It's the mindset of, I could be out there.
Yeah.
I could do that. And it's like, that'd be like me going to a game. And I've been to a few Suns games and being like, I should be on the court.
Oh, yeah.
I could be on the court. It's like, no.
The good old yearbook talk.
It's like, no. It's like your mindset, you might know the skills that you've once had, but that doesn't compare to dudes that are actively working on their game and that are professional.
You sound sorry,
in the now.
Yeah.
In the now. It's like, no, I go and I appreciate the game, but we can also watch the game from a different lens than other people can as well. That's the beauty too. When you played, you were watching the game, but you could also decipher and analyze the game while you watch it. Like, oh, you missed that pick, or you missed that help side defense, or why you keep taking so many jump shots, or where the casual is just watching them go up and down, or they're just watching, you know, they're watching the game of baseball while you're watching. You might be looking at the pitcher. Like, oh, okay, you're looking at the catcher.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh, he switched it up. You're looking at you're watching the game from a totally different lens, but also from a place of like, wow, I used to play, but I'm able to watch it from this standpoint. Not like, man, I'm supposed to be shortstop right now. I'm supposed to be left field catching that. It's like, all right, like you have to maneuver him. You have to move on. Bro. So the beauty of the lens changing is a great aspect.
It is. Sure. The role that you play in it is amazing, bro. And like I said, once you're able to switch that, especially when it comes from like an athlete's perspective, you're able to like openly just appreciate and admit like the things that happen where nothing's great. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say everything in your situation was solely your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there are tons of things that we could both speak on that just wasn't, you know, up to our standard in certain things. But to be able to sit here now, I would argue like, I'm happy with what happened.
For sure.
Like, it sucks as a competitor. From a competitor's aspect, absolutely. I would have definitely wanted more from it. But like from like another standpoint, like I enjoy being the role that I'm in because I can easily talk to anybody about the game. Yeah. Whether it's a youngin or whether it's somebody who, you know, is a little bit older than me and have a genuine conversation about it and pull from a different place. Like you said, when I watch the game, I'm like, oh, dang, like, so that's what his strategy, like you said, was behind that. Or if a kid's asking me something, it's like, oh, what do you think? I can give him a valid answer.
Absolutely.
From a place of like, you're not talking to somebody that succeeded in this. Yeah. You're talking to somebody that's failed in it, which, again, holds just as much weight.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Sure. Like, how do you handle that? So from that sense, I do want to ask you another question. Like, was there a level of building up your confidence in other things after basketball that you had to really focus on? Or were you not really pulling from your athletic side of things or your skill side of things of where most of your confidence was coming from?
For sure, yeah. I think for me, everything just transferred over.
Okay.
Like there wasn't anything to where it was like, oh, because the basketball is done, I'm gonna have to like rebuild from a self standpoint in this aspect. No, the confidence transferred over. Like everything just transferred over, and I think. Like when you look at the greats and regardless to any facet, specifically like Kobe, that's my favorite player of all time. He said when he was done playing, his next 20 was going to be his best 20 in regards to his like being done with the game of basketball. And so I look at it the same way in the sense of like, if you're really great within, everything is going to transfer over. Like whatever you do, is going to be great because you take the same mindset that you have when you played that sport and you put that into whatever else you're doing. Yeah. And so that's why when you see people and you're like, how is he just good at everything? He played a sport and then he does this and then he's good at this. Yeah. And then it's just like, the reality is it's the greatness within. Initially it went to a sport, but had he done anything else, had it been playing the piano, had it been playing, being an artist, writing a book, it would have went into that. So you would have seen it in that aspect. You just see great people that play sports. You see the greatness within the sport. But then when they stop playing, you see the greatness in whatever other faction that they do because it just transfers over. Usually for the greats, I'm talking, like the real greats, Michael Jordan, Kobe, Shaq. I'm speaking basketball, but you could look at Serena Williams, just anybody who's great in their sport. When you see them after they're done, the greatness doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So it's not the sport itself, it's the greatness within. And it just transfers to everything else. So for me, it's just transferred to everything else, working out, just everything else that I aspire to do. It's the same mindset with basketball. It doesn't leave. It's just, and it's matured.
For sure.
So it just transfers over into everything else.
Yeah, it's the it factor, dude. Because, I mean, yes, the greatness for sure. But other than those players, there's greatness in professional athletes that aren't as big as Kobe and Michael Jordan.
For sure.
That are doing just as big things.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's not necessarily like how good you are at the sport. It's the greatness formula that's within yourself. And you just see them. I mean, another one would be like Steph Curry. Dude is nice on the court at golf.
Yeah.
Have you seen him as a golfer?
For sure, he's good. Yeah.
Kyle Murray is a good football player and baseball player.
Yeah.
Like there's so many guys that just know how to do different things very well. And it's just something that you can't necessarily teach.
Can't teach it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's there.
Like it's there or it's not. Mm-hmm. And that's cool though. I do appreciate that because I know for my side of things, it definitely was something that I had to work on outside of it because once you put all your eggs in one basket and that's all you're ever with, it can be hard to get out of it, which again, you think you're good at something and that's just your whole personality. Right. It can be detrimental in that. Mm-hmm. So understanding that, where I'm at now, I think that's allowed me to take multiple different avenues of like, okay, I want to be good at this, and this, and still learn, 2 or 3 things on the side because there's nothing better than learning something at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And we say it time and time again, the more times that we get comfortable with just, oh, well, Julian's just, he's an artist. Mm-hmm. Or Julian's just, he works from home and, he does his 9 to 5 and that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. But like, as people who enjoy greatness, that's not enough.
It's definitely not enough.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Julian, he travels a little bit. Mm-hmm. Cool. But like, what's that? What does that do? Like, what's that doing for him in totality? Right. I think we both have the same understanding of like, it's never enough to just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, you have to switch it up. You have to, and it's really just constant growth and elevation.
Sure, yeah.
That's really all it is for real, and that's within greatness because that's all greatness is. You see, you constantly develop and build on that. And I think again, my thing is it just transfers over to everything in life. So if you see somebody that's great, you're gonna see them and you're gonna be like, how are you good at that? How are you good at that? How are you good at that? It's not the entity that makes them great. It's the greatness within that's displayed through the entity. So it's everything that's inside, honestly. It's all internal.
Wouldn't you think it shines a little bit brighter too? And just like a group of people, like you're networking, right? Absolutely. And you just see the way someone moves and you can be like, I feel like this person's pretty nice at a couple of different things.
For sure. Yeah, because it disseminates. It shows. Yeah. Like certain things, it's the light. Honestly, you just can't. You can't dim it, and it's just there for real. So, yeah, I just think when somebody has greatness within, it shows in every aspect of their life. Again, it's not a sport, it's not a craft, it's not whatever it is. It's not cooking. It's the greatness within, and it's just displayed from whatever they're doing.
Absolutely, no, that's facts, bro. All right, Julian. Well, before we close it out, what's one tip or one piece of advice you'd give to that one dude out there that's watching this, that's going through a time in his life in a season where he's not performing or he's feeling like he's at that stage where it's just time to find a different avenue?
Yeah. For one, I'll say you're not by yourself. It's understandable. And it might seem simple, but just keep going. And whatever you feel like is your next step or your next interest, dive into that and keep going and persevere. But whatever you feel like is something that you might be of interest in, go seek it out and just continue on that path.
If that sensation makes you feel tingly inside, and I know it sounds crazy, but like if there is that something out there that just makes you, happy and puts a smile on your face, go chase after it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
like you said, keep going, keep growing. We're going to be here.
Absolutely.
We'll see y'all.
Love.